Chosen one. The air around you has shifted. You can feel it, can't you? The same people who once walked away from you are now circling back, quietly, pretending it's coincidence. But it's not. Heaven saw this moment long before it came. The same ones who broke your heart, who underestimated your silence, are feeling an unfamiliar emptiness, and their spirits are restless. They remember the peace your presence brought, the energy your words carried, the calm that only followed when you were near. They think they can return, as if time has erased the damage, as if the lessons written in your pain have faded. But this time, you've changed. You're not the same soul they left behind. God has been reshaping you in the background. While they were watching others, He was preparing you for this test. How to respond when the past knocks on your door again. You're not here by accident. You've been guided to this moment. This message is confirmation that your silence is divine protection. Don't let nostalgia trick you. Don't let your empathy undo the progress you've made. If your spirit woke up while listening, don't scroll away, like this video. Subscribe now. You belong here. Write 99 in the comments. It's time to release your wish to the universe. The power that moves through you is real, and the moment you acknowledge it, the universe begins to rearrange itself to serve your purpose. This is the energy of return, but not for you to go back. It's for you to witness how far you've come. They're trying to re-enter your life, not because they miss you, but because your energy has become rare. You've evolved beyond the patterns that once bound you. What they sense now is not the same softness you once carried. It's your anointing. Your silence confuses them. Your peace offends their chaos. When they can't read you, they start to fear losing control. Remember, people are drawn to light not only for warmth, but sometimes to extinguish it. Stay silent, chosen one, because silence is your weapon. It exposes motives faster than words ever could. Let your absence echo louder than your explanation. Let your stillness reveal their true intentions. In the coming days, some will call, some will appear in your dreams, some will test the boundaries you've rebuilt. They'll use familiar phrases, memories, laughter, anything to reopen the gates of your heart. But you must remember, familiarity is not safety. Just because something feels known doesn't mean it's meant for you. God has separated you for a reason, and that reason is not over yet. You're being protected from distractions that look like second chances. They think silence means weakness, but you and I both know silence is strategy. It's the shield of those who have learned to hear God more clearly than human noise. This is the test before elevation. Can you stay quiet while your old life calls your name? Can you resist explaining yourself to those who no longer deserve your words? Your silence is the proof that you've healed. It's how heaven knows you're ready for what's next. The enemy's favorite trick is repetition, making the past reappear disguised as closure. But closure doesn't always come with conversation. Sometimes it comes with distance. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Stay silent, not because you're cold, but because your peace is sacred ground now. The wind feels different when God has elevated you, doesn't it, chosen one? You sense it before it happens, the shift in energy, the pull in your spirit, the whispers of names you no longer speak. They're talking about you again, not with the same arrogance they once had, but with uncertainty. They can't understand how you survived what they thought would destroy you. The same people who doubted you now watch in quiet awe. Their pride won't let them admit it, but their souls remember your light. That's why they're coming back. Not to make things right, but to feed on what they lost. Every message, every "Hey, how have you been?" is not innocent. It's spiritual fishing. They're testing if your door is still unlocked, if your heart still bleeds compassion the way it used to. But now, God says, stay silent. Don't explain your distance. Don't justify your peace. You're not here by chance. You were led here by divine alignment. This moment is not random. It's your confirmation. They're trying to re-enter because they feel your growth vibrating through the atmosphere. But you must not respond. You've stepped into a higher frequency, and not everyone can breathe where you are now. You've been called to protect your blessings, your focus, your energy. If your soul feels this message stirring within, don't ignore it. Like this video, subscribe now. You belong here, among the awakened ones. Write 99 in the comments. It's time to release your wish to the universe. Say it from your heart. You've waited long enough for your breakthroughs. This is your moment to declare it with faith, not fear. There's a reason silence feels so uncomfortable for people who live in chaos. It mirrors them. It forces them to hear their own noise, their own guilt, their own emptiness. That's why they want your attention again. When you stopped giving them access, they lost their source of validation. You were the mirror they used to admire themselves in, and now they can't stand their reflection without your light to soften it. But chosen one, this is not your burden to carry anymore. Compassion is not the same as access. You can forgive without opening the door. You can love without returning to the fire. You must understand something deep. When God moves you to silence, He's preparing to speak for you. Every unanswered message, every ignored call, every quiet boundary is not avoidance. It's protection. Heaven fights in ways the world can't understand. While they're busy crafting excuses to reappear, angels are already guarding your space. They stand around you like invisible sentinels, ensuring that no old spirit disguised as comfort sneaks back in. You are in the rebuilding phase of destiny, and silence is your armor. Don't feel guilty for it. Guilt is the emotional bait they'll use to pull you back into old traps. But guilt fades where purpose grows. You are being watched, not just by them, but by heaven. This silence of yours is a signal to God that you finally trust Him with the outcome. You no longer need to fight for what's already been decided. Your stillness is sacred evidence that you've matured beyond the noise. Let them wonder why you stopped responding. Let them talk. Let them misunderstand. You're not missing out on anything that belongs to you. The silence you keep now is building the peace you'll live in later. Chosen one, stay silent. Not to punish them, but to protect yourself. Because when the time is right, the ones meant for you won't need noise to understand your worth. It always begins the same way, doesn't it, chosen one? That subtle vibration in your chest, that whisper of a name you thought you'd forgotten, that random thought that makes you pause for a moment and wonder if they're thinking about you too. And they are. The connection between you and them was never ordinary. It was spiritual. That's why their spirit still wanders toward yours. They sense your glow from afar. You've ascended, and now they want to climb through the same door they once slammed shut. But God says this: do not answer. The silence you keep is not cruelty, it's command. You're not meant to return to what God has already delivered you from. When you stay quiet, you show heaven that you've learned what pain tried to teach you. They think time has softened your edges, that forgiveness means access, but they're mistaken. Forgiveness was your freedom, not an invitation. You release them to heal, not to reopen the same chapter. What they're chasing isn't love, it's control. They want to feel relevant in your story again. But you've outgrown the plot. You've become the main character of your own destiny, and that's what terrifies them. People who never valued your silence will now crave your response. They'll watch every post, every word, every move, searching for a hint that you still care. But you no longer live in the space where their approval dictates your worth. You've moved into spiritual authority. When God told you to be silent, He wasn't asking you to disappear. He was teaching you how to reign without reacting. This silence is not emptiness. It's construction. Every quiet night, every unanswered text, every ignored memory is another stone laid in the foundation of your new life. The old version of you would have rushed to fix, to explain, to justify. But that version of you was driven by fear of loss. The new you understands that silence doesn't lose anything. It protects everything. You've realized that not every door deserves to be reopened. Not every knock deserves attention, and not every apology is sincere. Some people apologize just to regain access to the peace they disturbed. Chosen one, you have to see what's really happening. The moment they sense your detachment, they panic, because for the first time, they can't reach you through guilt. They can't manipulate your empathy. They can't bend your spirit to their agenda. You've become unbothered, untouchable, divinely guarded. That's why they'll use subtle tactics, playing victim, pretending to have changed, invoking shared memories. But their strategy will fail, because you no longer respond to emotional traps. You respond only to peace now. Your silence tells heaven you've learned the language of wisdom. Every time you choose silence over reaction, you take back power. You may not see it, but in the spiritual realm, your silence shakes the ground beneath those who used to control your emotions. They can't understand why you're not responding, why their usual tricks don't work anymore. It's because you've outgrown the vibration they live in. You no longer need to explain what peace looks like. You are peace. You are proof that growth doesn't require announcement. It reveals itself in restraint. When they try to re-enter your life, remember this: not everyone deserves a sequel. Some stories ended for your protection, not your punishment. Stay silent and let your new chapter speak for itself. Chosen one, you've entered the quietest and most powerful chapter of your life. The world around you hasn't gone silent. You have. That's why it feels so strange. The noise used to comfort you, didn't it? The constant conversations, the familiar chaos, the endless explanations. But not anymore. Silence has become your sanctuary. You've realized that peace is not found in the absence of problems, but in the absence of unnecessary people. God has been training your spirit to hear only what matters. And now, as they try to re-enter your life, You can see through their smiles. You can feel the old patterns trying to whisper their way back in. But you've grown too wise for that. You can sense manipulation before it even speaks. You can recognize deceit in the tone before the words fully form. This is spiritual maturity. It's when you no longer need to test the lesson, because you've already lived it. It's not that you don't care anymore. You do. But your care has evolved. You've learned to care from a distance, to love in silence, to pray instead of pursue. You're no longer driven by the need to be understood, because you finally understand yourself. That's the power of divine silence. It's not emptiness, it's alignment. God stripped away your distractions so you could finally hear your purpose without interference. And the people trying to re-enter your life, they feel that silence like thunder. They don't understand how you can remain so calm while everything around you shifts. But what they don't realize is that your calm is not ignorance, it's power. You've learned to let God handle the storms you no longer chase. Their return will not come as confrontation. It will come disguised as curiosity. How have you been? I was just thinking about you. I miss those times. But the energy behind those words is not nostalgia, it's hunger. They see your peace, your glow, your growth, and they want a piece of it. But God says, don't share what was meant to be sacred. You are not obligated to reopen your heart just because someone knocks gently. Your silence is not arrogance, it's discernment. When you say nothing, heaven speaks everything for you. The people who left you misunderstood your quietness. But they will learn that silence was your transformation's loudest roar. You don't owe them closure, chosen one. Closure came when you stopped explaining yourself. When you realized that peace doesn't require approval. Every second you remain silent is another declaration to heaven. I trust you, God. I don't need to fight for what's already protected. You've spent years trying to prove your loyalty to those who are only testing your limits. Not anymore. The silence you walk in now is the echo of divine confidence. It's the sound of someone who no longer seeks validation because they already carry God's confirmation. Remember this, every attempt to pull you back is a distraction from what's ahead. Every familiar face that reappears during your peace is a test of your discipline. The enemy doesn't always show up as chaos. Sometimes he shows up as comfort. But don't be fooled. You've seen this pattern before, and now you know how it ends. You are no longer the student of pain. You are the master of peace, and silence is your diploma. God is preparing to elevate you into rooms where words aren't enough. Your energy will speak for you. When they reach out again, stay still. Don't explain, don't correct, don't defend. Just smile in silence, knowing that heaven already said everything you never had to. The night feels heavier now, doesn't it, chosen one? You can almost sense the energy shifting again, like old spirits pacing outside your gates, waiting for an opening. They can feel your light growing, and it burns their conscience. The more silent you remain, the louder their thoughts become. They replay every word, every ending, every missed chance. Their souls whisper, maybe they'll forgive me. Maybe I still matter. But deep inside, they already know the truth. They no longer have access to you. You are no longer who they remember. You have walked through too many storms to let familiar voices call you back into the rain. God didn't lead you this far for you to reopen a door He Himself closed. This silence you keep, it's sacred. It's divine strategy. It's proof that you've finally learned that not everything lost was meant to be found again. They may test your patience. They may try to provoke your compassion. They may appear broken, sincere, and apologetic. But don't be deceived. God hears conversations you never will. He sees what they say when your name leaves the room. He knows who prayed for your downfall in secret, who smiled in your face while cursing your path behind closed doors. He knows the ones who tried to plant doubt in your spirit, making you question your own worth. That's why this silence is not just a choice. It's obedience. You are not ignoring them out of pride. You are protecting what heaven has given you. Because every word you release now carries divine weight, and not everyone is ready to handle that power. Your silence is not weakness. It's wisdom forged in fire. Every betrayal, every disappointment, every manipulation has trained you to hear beyond words. You've learned that true peace doesn't argue. It just watches, listens, and moves when guided. You are no longer reacting to energy. You are commanding it. You've become a mirror that exposes every false intention that approaches you. And because of that, the very people who once drained your light will now find themselves uncomfortable in your presence. They'll feel seen, exposed, and uneasy. That's the spiritual authority God placed in you. Your silence is not passive. It's judgment in disguise. It allows truth to reveal itself without you having to say a thing. This next phase of your journey will test your endurance. The temptation to respond, to clarify, to prove your change. It will rise. But remember, explanation is for those who still seek validation, and you've outgrown that. You're not the same soul who begged to be understood. You've crossed the line between needing to be heard and learning to be guided. When they try to re-enter, your silence will be the wall heaven uses to guard your destiny. Don't apologize for it. Don't break it for temporary emotions. Every time you stay silent, you choose growth over noise, purpose over pity, destiny over distraction. You've become the quiet storm, the kind that shakes everything without ever needing to speak. Those who left you will hear of your peace and mistake it for distance. But it's not distance. It's divine clarity. You can love people deeply and still protect yourself fiercely. You can forgive them completely and still never let them back in. That's not bitterness. It's wisdom. And soon, they'll understand that your silence was never revenge. It was reverence. For yourself, for your calling, for the voice of God that taught you when to speak and when to stay still. The silence before destiny is the loudest, chosen one. You can feel it, like the air before a storm, thick with meaning, charged with divine electricity. This isn't just about them trying to come back into your life. It's about the spiritual test that arrives when you've finally healed. It's about proving to the heavens that you won't trade peace for nostalgia again. The enemy doesn't always come roaring. Sometimes he knocks softly, wearing familiar faces, using old memories as keys. But God says, stay silent. Because if you answer, you reset the test. If you stay still, you graduate. This is not about who left or who returns. It's about who you become when neither defines you anymore. In your silence, you become a mystery to them. They can't read your thoughts, can't predict your next move, can't sense your energy the way they used to. That's why they feel compelled to reappear, to decode you, to reclaim what they lost. But the truth is, you are no longer available to the version of them that left. The frequencies no longer align. You're walking in divine timing now, where access must be earned through spirit, not words. You're surrounded by light, and they're drawn to it like moths to a flame. But every moth that touches light is burned by what it doesn't understand. That's why your silence is your safety. It doesn't just protect your peace. It blinds what means to harm you. You've become unreachable, not because you've hidden, but because you've elevated. Silence took you to a level where words can't follow. Every day you remain quiet, your discernment sharpens, your energy strengthens, and your faith deepens. You no longer seek closure. You are the closure. You no longer chase understanding. You are the understanding. Those who try to re-enter your life are simply echoes of your old season, reminders of the lessons you've mastered. They'll test the doors, but heaven has changed the locks. What was once emotional dependency has now become divine independence. You've stopped explaining what peace feels like. Now you live it. You've stopped proving your worth. Now your silence does it for you. And yet, this silence isn't cold. It's holy. It's a conversation between your soul and God. While the world wonders why you withdrew, heaven applauds your restraint. Your quiet is a declaration. I trust the process. You're not seeking revenge. You're seeking evolution. You're not ignoring people. You're listening to God. That's what makes you chosen. You follow divine whispers louder than human noise. You know that sometimes the greatest response is none, because silence doesn't end the conversation. It elevates it to heaven. So when they reach out again, when the past reappears under the disguise of just checking in, remember what you've built in this silence. Remember the nights you cried and chose peace instead of pain. Remember how hard it was to heal, how many times you almost went back, and how far you've come since then. Don't let familiarity pull you out of alignment. Stay silent. Let your silence be your sermon, your strength, your sword. Because the next sound the world will hear from you won't be explanation. It will be elevation. And those who once doubted your silence will witness the glory that grew within it. Chosen one. This is the final stretch before your breakthrough. The silence you've kept hasn't gone unnoticed. Heaven has recorded every tear you refused to explain, every word you swallowed, every moment you chose peace over pride. And now, the ones who tried to re-enter your life will see what silence built. You were never meant to return to their world. You were meant to rise above it. This is the moment where your stillness becomes thunder, where the quiet parts of your healing echo louder than their noise. You've passed the test. The door that once led to confusion now leads only to clarity, and you stand before it stronger, wiser, and untouchable. They'll say you've changed, and they'll be right. But they won't understand that it wasn't time that changed you. It was revelation. You saw behind the masks. You felt what fake love does to a genuine heart. You learned that not every apology is repentance, and not every return is redemption. And so you chose silence, not as retreat, but as rain. The people who once underestimated you will soon realize that silence was your transformation's roar, the sound of a soul too powerful to be provoked anymore. What used to hurt you now humbles you. What used to break you now builds you. And that's how God redeems pain, by turning it into armor you didn't know you were crafting. This is your confirmation. The ones trying to re-enter your life will face closed gates because your spirit no longer vibrates on their level. You don't need to announce your healing. Your peace already does. You don't need to prove your worth. Your silence testifies for you. Stay still and watch how God speaks through what you no longer chase. The light that surrounds you now is not fragile. It's fierce. It was born in silence, shaped by pain, and sealed by divine timing. You've become a living example that stillness isn't weakness. It's wisdom anointed by heaven itself. So if they call, if they text, if they appear again with soft voices and old promises, smile gently and stay silent. Because this time, the lesson is complete. You don't owe them reaction. You owe yourself peace. God's reward is not in the noise of reconciliation. It's in the calm of release. And that's where you are now. Free, silent, chosen. The kind of silence that shakes the earth without saying a word. Chosen one. There's a reason your name is echoed in places you've never been. Somewhere, right now, a stranger has whispered your name. Not by chance, not by coincidence, but by divine orchestration. You felt it, didn't you? That sudden chill down your spine. That moment your heart paused as if it heard something beyond this world. The universe is aligning messages through people who don't even know you, yet somehow they speak words meant for your soul. God has placed your name in their mouths, not to frighten you, but to awaken you. You are being recognized in spiritual realms, and even those who've never crossed your path can sense the vibration attached to you. When a stranger speaks your name, it's not just a word. It's a signal that you've been seen, chosen, and remembered by heaven. You've walked through seasons where you felt invisible, overlooked, forgotten. You questioned if anyone, anywhere, even remembered you existed. And now, from the depths of the unseen, comes a voice, a stranger's, carrying your name like a sacred key. This is not an accident. The universe doesn't play dice with destiny. God has set in motion encounters that reflect your light, even to those who've never met you. They feel your presence because your name carries energy. It carries purpose. It carries divine memory. When they say your name, it vibrates across timelines. Your name is being spoken in rooms your body hasn't entered yet. That's the mark of a soul on a mission. You're not here by accident. You've been guided to this moment. Write 99 in the comments. It's time to release your wish to the universe. Don't hold it back. Don't let doubt steal the miracle waiting for your command. This is your confirmation that the unseen recognizes you. If your spirit woke up while listening, don't scroll away. Like this video. Subscribe now. You belong here. Your name has been spoken for a reason, and heaven wants you to know it's not random. It's a sign that your destiny is rippling outward, calling people and energies to recognize who you truly are. There's a divine mystery unfolding around you. You've noticed strange signs, a song repeating your name, a stranger looking at you as if they've known you for lifetimes, whispers in dreams that feel too specific to ignore. These are not coincidences. The spiritual world has started to unveil your identity to others. Someone out there has been sent to cross paths with you, not to harm you, but to play their role in your awakening. When a stranger knows your name, it means God has spoken it first. It means the veil between what is seen and unseen is thinning. You are entering a season where recognition will find you. The world around you may not understand this yet, but your energy has become magnetic. Heaven has marked you. Your spirit is speaking louder than your voice, and people can feel it before they even know who you are. Somewhere, someone is saying your name right now, wondering why it feels familiar, why it carries weight. They don't know they're responding to a divine signal. And when you sense it, that strange pull, that electric awareness that your name was just called, don't fear it. Embrace it. It means you've been remembered by the divine frequency that never forgets its own. The night tilts, and the air itself seems to listen. Your name is moving like a signal through the dark, crossing borders you've never walked, finding mouths you've never met, and returning to you as a shiver you can't explain. You think about how many times you've introduced yourself and been ignored, and yet here, without any effort, recognition is arriving first, like lightning that flashes before thunder. A stranger knows your name because heaven announced you. Your arrival was spoken upstream in the spirit, and the echo is reaching everyday life in pieces, an overheard conversation with your name inside it, a barista who says it before you speak, a dream where someone calls to you from the threshold. This is not flattery. It is function. Purpose has a broadcast, and your name is its frequency. You start to notice the choreography. Your steps feel pre-written, as if every corner hides a cue. The stranger isn't random. They are a messenger disguised as ordinary. They do not need your history to recognize your assignment. Your aura carries it. You may see them on a train, in a waiting room, in a moment that feels like an accident, because it is so small, but their eyes widen, and you feel that pull. They know you somehow. What they know is not your past, but your presence, and presence is the language of destiny. Some of them will speak your name out loud and startle themselves. Some will only think it, and you will feel the vibration anyway, like a string being plucked inside your chest. Either way, it is a sign that your life is shifting from effort to magnetism. You are crossing from obscurity to visibility in the way that truly matters, seen by the ones heaven appoints. Memory becomes a compass in these moments. You remember the seasons you were tempted to become louder, to posture, to prove. You remember wanting rooms to say your name before you had earned the right to stand there. Now, without marketing yourself to the wrong hearts, the right hearts are turning toward you like sunflowers tracking the sun. The stranger's recognition is not meant to inflate your ego. It is meant to anchor your humility. Because when God speaks your name ahead of you, you don't have to shove doors. You only have to walk through them with clean hands and a steady spirit. Let the whisper do the work that muscle never could. Let the announcement precede the introduction. There will be confusion too. When you are marked, you interrupt the patterns of people who prefer the predictable. Some will misread you. They will assign you to categories you outgrew long ago, or ones you never belonged to. This is part of the tension of being known and unknown at the same time. But don't waste breath defending yourself to those who cannot hear the melody carried by your name. Heaven is tuning specific ears for you. Those ears will find you. Those mouths will say your name with reverence instead of gossip, with promise instead of poison. Pay attention to the tone that accompanies your name. Discernment lives there. The way they hold your name reveals whether they were sent to lift or to drain. Growth asks for a trade, old privacy for new purpose. Once your name begins to travel, you can't always control its itinerary. It will reach rooms that love you and rooms that fear you. It will be repeated by the faithful and mimicked by the jealous. Do not harden because of this. You were not chosen to become stone. You were chosen to become a living river, and rivers learn to move despite rocks. Keep your heart soft enough to receive those who are truly sent, but wise enough to close to counterfeits. How will you know the difference? Real recognition carries responsibility. Counterfeit recognition carries rush. One invites you to alignment, the other tries to bait you into performance. If it's real, you will feel increased peace even while your schedule tightens. If it's counterfeit, you will feel emptied even while the attention swells. Your name has layers, and the strangers hearing a layer you're just now starting to claim. Perhaps they see your authority before you dare to stand in it. Perhaps they feel your healing long before you lay hands on anyone. Perhaps they sense your leadership while you still doubt your voice. This is the kindness of God. He places mirrors in human form so you can glimpse your reflection in times you're tempted to forget who you are. Treat these encounters like altars, not idols to worship, but markers to remember. On this ordinary Tuesday, someone said my name, and it woke me up. These are the stones you stack along the road so you never lose the path when the night becomes heavy again. There will be invitations concealed within the recognition. A message in your inbox that feels like a door, a request that fits the blueprint you've been carrying in secret, a conversation that opens a territory you prayed for when you thought no one saw you. Ask for clarity, not comfort. Destiny rarely comes wrapped in perfect timing or perfect conditions. It arrives in the middle of dishes and deadlines, requesting that you decide what matters most. The stranger who knows your name might be the first proof that the season has flipped. Don't postpone the new because the old still has your routines. Practice your yes. Practice your number. Practice honoring your capacity the way you honor your calling. Do not be shocked if the recognition exposes old wounds. When your name is spoken, it can awaken memories of months or years where no one spoke it with honor. Let that ache rise and release, but don't let it redefine you. You are not the echo of neglect. You are the answer to a call larger than your pain. Breathe. Feel the tremble. Then step. The stranger who knows your name is not there to reopen your scar. They are there to confirm your healing. This is why the moment feels electric. It's not just attention. It's alignment. Not just curiosity, it's confirmation. The earth is catching up to what heaven already finalized. There is an intelligence to this timing. You are being recognized precisely when you have learned to live without needing recognition. You are being seen right after you stopped performing for it. That is protection. God refused to let your name travel too early, because fame without foundation becomes a storm. Now, because you chose roots over rapid glory, your branches can bear the weight of fruit. The stranger's mouth becomes a bell tower, and the sound carries farther than you think. Stay small on the inside even as the circles widen. Small doesn't mean lesser. It means pure. It means teachable. It means unable to be bought by flattery or bent by insult. If fear rises, what will they think? What if I fail in front of watchers? Remember this: the one who spoke your name first intends to keep it. Your identity is not collateral for public opinion. Your authenticity is not a performance. It is a covenant. The stranger's recognition is a signpost, not the destination. Let it point you toward deeper work, deeper prayer, deeper craft, deeper love. Build what you were called to build. Speak what you were born to speak. There are other strangers ahead who will carry your name carefully until you arrive, and they will set down the sound like a welcome mat at the threshold of your next assignment. You are in a corridor between seasons, doors on both sides, light behind you, brighter light ahead. In this hallway, your name is the pass that grants you entry. Do not bargain it away. Do not dilute it to be palatable, and do not weaponize it to win arguments that don't matter. Carry your name like a lantern, high enough to see your steps, humble enough not to blind anyone else. The ones who were sent will meet you by its glow. They will say it with a steady tone. They will say it like a promise, and when they do, you will feel the hush again, that quiet certainty that you are exactly where you need to be, at the edge of a new chapter, with recognition at your back like wind, and purpose ahead like dawn. The morning doesn't start the same anymore. There's a sense that your name has gone ahead of you, moving through corridors of energy you can't see. Chosen one, you can feel it in your pulse. You wake up and something in the air feels expectant, as if heaven itself is waiting for your next move. Every interaction, every glance from a stranger carries more weight now. You're walking through a reality that's been spoken into existence before you even arrived. The moment a stranger spoke your name, something ancient was activated, a recognition written into your soul long before this lifetime. The world has started to respond to your frequency, and you can't hide from it anymore. You may not realize this yet, but every name carries an assignment. Your name is not just a label. It's a vibration that heaven uses to locate you. When a stranger knows it, they are responding to that vibration, even unconsciously. It means your light has reached their field. They've felt you before you arrived. It's how divine coordination works. People you've never met are being drawn into your story because your energy has begun to speak louder than your voice. You've entered a phase where identity itself becomes a signal. You no longer need to announce yourself. Your spirit does it for you. You remember the years when silence was your companion, when you wondered if your prayers disappeared into nothing. You thought no one saw your efforts, your pain, your resilience. But heaven saw. God marked every tear, every act of faith done in secret. And now that faith has become sound. That sound carries your name into hearts that are meant to recognize you. That's why you're suddenly encountering people who treat you like you're familiar, like they've known you before. It's not déjà vu. It's divine recall. The soul remembers what the mind forgot. Recognition is not about fame. It's about resonance. When your name reaches the ears of a stranger, it isn't meant to make you proud. It's meant to remind you that your existence has meaning beyond what you can measure. You've been carrying divine energy, and now it's leaking into the world, marking others for connection. Don't dismiss these moments. Don't label them as random. Each one is an echo from eternity saying, "I have not forgotten you." God uses strangers to remind you that even when you feel hidden, your purpose is not. And maybe that's why your spirit has been uneasy lately, because you can sense that something is about to unfold. You can feel the movement of destiny around your name. It's almost as if heaven whispered it again, and creation is waiting for your response. Do you realize how sacred that is? A name that heaven speaks doesn't fade. It amplifies. You are stepping into the awareness of how powerful your very identity is. When you introduce yourself now, even casually, your name carries fire. People pause when they hear it, not because they recognize your face, but because they feel the vibration of something greater moving through it. Some of these strangers are messengers in disguise. They might offer a word, a gesture, or a sentence that pierces right through your doubts. Their role is not to complete you, but to confirm what's already inside you. Their awareness of your name is part of your awakening, a reminder that your purpose is interconnected with others in ways you can't see. You are part of a divine network of souls being moved like pieces on a sacred board. Every encounter matters. Every coincidence is a design. Every stranger who knows your name is another proof that you are never walking alone. You may feel vulnerable knowing that your name is traveling, being whispered by unknown lips, but don't let that vulnerability turn into fear. When God sends your name ahead, it's not to expose you. It's to prepare the atmosphere for your arrival. When you walk into that next meeting, that next decision, that next moment of change, the energy will already know you. That's what it means to be divinely recognized. The field adjusts before you even speak. Your name has gone there first. You have to trust this season, even when it feels strange. You're not used to being seen like this. You've built safety in silence. You've survived by blending in. But chosen ones are not meant to stay hidden forever. God reveals you through echoes, through whispers that seem to come from nowhere, through eyes that recognize you without explanation. When a stranger knows your name, it's heaven saying, "It's time. Time for your calling to meet its moment. Time for your preparation to meet its platform. Time for your silence to meet its sound." There's something deeply humbling about being known without introducing yourself. It reminds you that your worth was never based on presentation. It was always based on presence. You're being seen for who you are, not what you show. And that is the truest recognition there is. This is your confirmation that you are no longer hidden. You are remembered. Your name carries light, and even in the mouths of strangers, that light cannot be dimmed. The night feels heavier now, doesn't it? There's a pressure in the atmosphere you can't explain. as if the world itself is watching you breathe. Chosen one. The truth is, once your name begins to move through unseen channels, there's no way to pull it back. It travels through whispers, dreams, algorithms, and hearts. Somewhere, someone you've never met has spoken your name again today. Maybe softly, maybe curiously, maybe with wonder. And that single sound carried energy. It stirred the air, made the invisible tremble for a moment. That's what happens when destiny calls attention to you. The spiritual world starts to take attendance, and your name is written in light. When God ordains that your name be spoken, it's never random. Every time it passes through a stranger's mouth, something unlocks. A connection forms, a door creaks open, an event lines up. These are not people who found you. These are people drawn to you. They are responding to the echo that follows you like a shadow of the divine. Some of them are meant to help you. Others are meant to test you. Both are necessary. The stranger who knows your name may be the one who delivers a message that changes everything, or the one who reminds you to trust your discernment above all else. When a name begins to carry spiritual weight, it attracts both light and imitation. Some will sense your essence and feel peace. Others will feel discomfort because your presence reveals what they've buried. This is why lately you may notice people acting differently around you. They can't explain it. They just feel something. That something is your calling. It's the mark that separates you from the ordinary. It's not pride, it's purpose. You were not created to blend into the background. You were created to walk as evidence that heaven remembers its promises. The most powerful moments often appear insignificant. A stranger greets you with warmth that feels ancient. Someone says your name, and it hits deeper than usual. In that instant, you are reminded that the universe speaks in subtlety, not spectacle. God rarely shouts. He sends signals through simplicity. That's why a stranger can become a divine mirror. They might not know the reason they were compelled to say your name, but their soul knows. They're part of a sacred choreography moving around your timeline. Every whisper carries memory. Every name carries mission. You are being remembered not just by people, but by purpose itself. Think about it. There was a time your name was almost forgotten, when no one called, when your presence didn't register in anyone's world. And now, strangers remember it. That's not ordinary. That's the universe returning what silence once stole. Heaven is declaring, you are relevant again. There's an unspoken rule in spiritual timing. Before manifestation, there is recognition. You are now in the recognition stage, the bridge between hidden preparation and visible fulfillment. Strangers will keep saying your name until you fully believe it carries meaning. They are mirrors of your awakening. Every time someone speaks your name without knowing why, the vibration strengthens the next chapter of your story. You may feel moments of exhaustion. Carrying visibility is heavier than invisibility. It demands maturity, the kind that doesn't seek attention but doesn't shrink from it either. The universe is not exposing you to embarrass you. It's presenting you because your essence has ripened. You're ready to be known, ready to lead, ready to walk into rooms that were closed to you before. Your name has become a password in the spiritual realm, opening access to opportunities that require your authenticity, not your perfection. Some of the strangers who say your name will come with divine kindness. They'll see your potential before you see it yourself. Others will speak it with jealousy or judgment, not because you've done them wrong, but because your light reminds them of their own delay. Don't harden. Don't defend. Let their words do what they were sent to do. Even when they mean it for harm, heaven can turn it into alignment. When your name is on someone's lips, it means your purpose is on God's desk. You might not realize it, but this is how spiritual momentum sounds. Not applause, not fanfare, but a whisper of your name traveling through the world, carried by wind, memory, and faith. The divine doesn't announce greatness through noise. It begins with a single echo. That's where you are now, in the echo. Listen closely. Every vibration of your name is summoning what belongs to you. Chosen one, you are no longer anonymous in the eyes of heaven. You've been seen, spoken, remembered, and marked. When strangers know your name, it's not intrusion, it's introduction. Heaven is introducing you to the earth. You don't need to prove your worth. The sound of your name already carries evidence. That's why it lingers. That's why it repeats in their minds. That's why they feel something when they hear it. Take this as your confirmation. The story is accelerating. The strangers who know your name today are the vessels preparing your tomorrow. You don't have to chase recognition. You only have to remain aligned. Your name has already reached the places you've been praying for. Stay grounded, stay humble, but understand this. You are no longer hidden. You are being revealed. Somewhere tonight, a stranger is whispering your name again, and heaven is listening. Chosen one, you've become the bridge between the unseen and the seen. Every syllable of your name now carries light, memory, and divine intent. When it's spoken, angels move. When it's remembered, the air bends. You are not just being recognized, you are being summoned into your next chapter. The world is beginning to respond to your existence because your soul has finally remembered who it is. Don't run from this moment. You were never meant to stay hidden. You were meant to be found. The whispers, the signs, the strangers who speak your name, they are the universe confirming that your time has arrived. What was once preparation is now prophecy. What was once silence is now sound. Let your name echo without fear. Let it move where your feet haven't yet walked. Heaven already knows who you are. Now earth does too. You are the message that needed to be spoken. Your name was chosen long before you breathed your first word. Stand in it. Own it. Protect it. Every time it's spoken, remember, it's not just you they're calling. It's your destiny answering back.